The greatest battles are not fought on the battlefield. They are fought within the mind, anger, the most seductive of enemies. It arrives disguised as justice, but leaves only destruction. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher-emperor, knew this enemy well. He ruled millions, commanded armies, and faced betrayal at every turn. Yet his greatest challenge was not the rebellion of others. It was the rebellion within himself. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. He understood that anger blinds reason. It poisons judgment. It destroys peace. Seneca called it a brief madness, a storm that turns kings into slaves and slaves into beasts. The greatest remedy for anger is delay, to pause, to breathe, to create distance between emotion and action. That single pause, that breath, is where wisdom begins. Because anger left unexamined is fire. It burns first the one who holds it. We believe it punishes others. In truth, it punishes us. Anger, if not restrained, is more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. And so Marcus trained himself, not to suppress anger, but to understand it. He studied his emotions as a physician studies disease, with discipline, distance, and reason. Anger thrives on illusion, the illusion that the world owes you obedience, that others must behave as you wish. The world is not here to serve your desires. It simply is. It is not things that upset us, but our opinions about things. The man who angers easily is a man enslaved, not by people. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Every day we face the same test. The colleague who insults you, the stranger who cuts you off, the family member who provokes you. You cannot stop them from acting, but you can stop yourself from reacting. That is Stoic mastery, to remain unmoved when the world trembles, to stay silent when others shout, to think before you strike. Each time you restrain your anger, you build an inner fortress, a citadel of calm no chaos can breach. He reminded himself again and again, the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. To retaliate in anger is to let others dictate your behavior. To respond with reason is to rule yourself, and ruling yourself, that is true kingship. The Stoics taught that a wise man's calm is not weakness. It is power refined, because the man who can stay calm in insult, calm in loss, calm in chaos, is a man who cannot be defeated. Marcus practiced this not in temples but in the noise of life, in the Senate, on the battlefield, in his own heart. He knew that anger never ends the way it begins. It starts loud and ends hollow. It promises justice and delivers regret. So he built the habit of pause, the habit of thought before reaction, the habit of peace before pride. That is the truth most forget. You are never angry because of what someone did. You are angry because you allowed it to enter your mind. You can train yourself to see insult as ignorance, criticism as opinion, delay as patience in disguise. To master anger is not to stop feeling, but to stop being controlled by feeling. So when anger comes, welcome it as a teacher. Pause. Observe. Breathe. Because the man who masters his anger masters his world. The man who stays calm in fire cannot be burned. And when you truly understand this, no one, and nothing, will ever again have the power to disturb your peace. The world does not disturb you. People do not anger you. Events do not destroy your peace, your perception does. Men are disturbed not by things but by the view they take of them. The Stoics knew, reality is not what happens around you. Reality is what happens within you. Your life is not shaped by circumstance but by the story your mind tells about it. When Marcus Aurelius lost his generals, when plague swept through Rome, when the Senate betrayed his trust, he did not ask, "Why me?" He asked instead, "How shall I see this?" Because the moment you change your perception, you change your experience. The mind is not a mirror, it is a lens, and the world takes the shape of that lens. A wise man does not grieve for what he has not, but rejoices in what he has. When something breaks, the undisciplined man curses fortune. The Stoic observes, accepts, and moves forward, because what's done cannot be undone. What matters now is how you see it. The Stoic asks, what can this moment teach me? What part of this is under my control? And the answer is always the same. Your response. Your peace is not stolen. You give it away, to frustration, to impatience, to misunderstanding. The Stoic reclaims it by seeing differently. When insulted, he sees ignorance, not offense. When delayed, he sees a chance for patience. When criticized, he sees a mirror for self-reflection. Choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Don't feel harmed, and you haven't been. That is perception's power, the ability to turn injury into education, conflict into calm, and suffering into strength. The Stoic divides the world in two: what you can control, your thoughts, your choices, your actions, and what you cannot, the rest. Peace begins the moment you stop confusing the two. The undisciplined man tries to control the storm. The Stoic learns to steer his ship. He knows you cannot calm the wind. You can only adjust your sails. To the Stoic, obstacles are not barriers. They are invitations. The world will not always give you what you want, but it will always give you what you need to grow. Every trial is a test. Every delay is discipline. Every challenge is a lesson in control. And when you learn to see life this way, anger disappears. Because nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. He did not seek a world without chaos. He sought a mind that remained calm within it. Seneca said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable." The Stoic does not run from difficulty. He faces it, studies it, and transforms it. To see clearly is to strip events of judgment, to see what simply is. When someone insults you, that is sound, air, and words. Nothing more. When something delays you, that is time moving differently. Nothing less. You decide whether it becomes suffering. You decide whether it becomes peace. Anger fades when understanding grows. Frustration dissolves when acceptance begins. To master perception is to master peace. To see the world as it is, not as ego paints it, is to walk calmly, even through chaos. That is Stoic vision. That is discipline in its purest form. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Change your thoughts, and the world changes with them. So the Annie, they mocked me again, master. They humiliated me. How do I endure it? Epictetus, calmly, without looking up. Then you have been given a chance to practice. You cannot control what others do. You can only control whether you become like them. The Stoics lived by a simple truth. You cannot control what happens, only how you respond. Between stimulus and response lies the most sacred space in the universe. The space where your freedom lives. Epictetus called it proheresis, the faculty of choice. To him, this was the seat of the soul, the one thing that remains truly yours no matter what the world takes away. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, stood daily in the storm of men's opinions. They praised him in the morning, cursed him by night. They begged, they deceived, they demanded, and yet he remained still, not because he felt nothing, but because he chose how to feel. If someone does wrong, it is because they think it right. To understand this is to be patient. The Stoic does not react to insult, and he studies it. He asks not, "Why did they do this to me?" but "What misunderstanding made them act this way?" Control is not harsh restraint. It is graceful command. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself." The Stoic welcomes difficulty, because each test is a mirror. Each challenge asks, will you act from impulse or will you respond from wisdom? To react is human. To respond is divine. Reaction is reflex, born from ego, fear, or pain. Response is reason, born from reflection and control. When anger strikes, you have two options: become the fire or become the hand that extinguishes it. The Stoic always chooses the latter. Epictetus said, "When someone insults you, remember that it is your judgment that has been insulted, not you. You are not your reputation. You are not your ego. You are not your emotion. You are the one who decides what these things mean, and in that decision lies your freedom." The Stoic response is not silence for silence's sake. It is deliberate composure. To act with control is to act from clarity. You do not strike in rage, you strike with reason when action serves justice, not pride. The best revenge is to be unlike your enemy. To respond calmly is not weakness, it is power under discipline. The man who rules his emotions rules his fate. Seneca compared the wise man to a ship's captain in a storm. The sea may rage, the wind may scream, but he does not curse the ocean. He adjusts his sails. That is the art of Stoic response, not resistance, but redirection. To yield where needed, to stand firm where it matters, to move with the current without ever losing course. The wise man controls his feelings. He does not allow them to control him. Control is not coldness. It is composure. It is the ability to act not from impulse but from intention. When the world demands you react, choose to pause. When others lose themselves, choose to find yourself, because the one who remains calm when others lose their minds leads them. That is true Stoic power. If you are pained by external things, it is not they that disturb you, but your judgment of them. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. The Stoic does not live untouched by the world. He lives undefeated by it. He feels but he does not fall. He bends, but he does not break. He acts, but never from anger, because control is not suppression. It is strength guided by wisdom. And when you master that, you are untouchable. So when the world tests you, pause. When anger tempts you, wait. When insult finds you, smile. Because mastery is not found in conquest, but in calm, control in motion, peace in action. Listen, do you hear it? The noise of judgment, the endless opinions, the voices that praise, condemn, compare, and demand. For most people, these voices are chains. They live their lives in reaction, exalted by flattery, destroyed by criticism, but not the Stoic, not Marcus. He stood in the center of Rome and learned to be still. It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own. To Marcus, that was the tragedy of human weakness, to trade inner peace for outer approval. To be ruled by opinion is to be enslaved by illusion, because opinions are wind, they shift with the weather. The same crowd that cheers you today will condemn you tomorrow. What fools these mortals be, to measure themselves by the noise of the crowd, not the calm of their own conscience. The Stoic's first act of freedom is to stop asking, "What will they think?" and to start asking, "What is right?" Then they speak ill of what they think you are, not of what you truly are. Epictetus had been a slave. He was beaten, mocked, ridiculed, yet he never let their words define him. He said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid, because to grow in silence is better than to shine in noise." Our world worships attention. Every opinion, every comment, every passing word demands your reaction. But the Stoic knows, what you react to, you give power to. To detach from judgment is not to ignore the world. It is to stop letting it dictate your worth. Do not waste the remainder of your life worrying about others, unless it affects the common good. The rest, the gossip, the comparison, the noise, is dust. Let it pass through you like wind through open hands. The Stoics called this apatheia, not apathy but freedom from disturbance, a mind so steady that neither insult nor applause can move it. A great mind becomes invincible by despising small things. When you detach from approval, you become untouchable. The words of others lose their gravity. Your peace becomes self-sustaining, and suddenly you realize you were never angry at the world. You were angry at your own expectations of it. If you are pained by anything external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment of it. And it is in your power to wipe out that judgment now. Judgment, the hidden source of all pain. The Stoic trains daily to remove it. He looks at praise and says, "This is air." He looks at insult and says, "This too is air." He focuses not on what people say, but on what he does. Virtue is his compass. Reason is his anchor. And peace his proof. The unbreakable mind is like this flame. The wind can howl, but it cannot touch the fire that guards itself. Because the Stoic does not chase control of the world. He seeks control of perception. He asks not, "What do they think of me?" but, "What do I think of myself?" At the end of all struggle, beyond discipline, control, and perception, lies something higher: stillness. The Stoics called it ataraxia, a tranquility of the soul untouched by chaos. It is not the absence of life's storms, but the mastery to remain calm within them. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. He ruled armies, governed an empire, endured betrayal and war, Yet his peace was not found in power. It was found in principle. Because stillness is not given, it is built. One controlled thought, one calm breath, one disciplined act at a time. The Stoic path begins with resistance and ends with release. You start by mastering anger. Then you master perception, then action, then detachment. And finally, you master yourself. Marcus no longer fought the world. He flowed with it. He saw fate not as an enemy, but as a companion. Accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? This was the secret of his peace, to surrender not in weakness but in understanding. When something happens, remember it happened as it should, and you will find peace. Acceptance was not passive to the Stoics. It was participation in nature's design. They believed every event, pleasant or painful, is a thread in a tapestry we cannot yet see. Your task is not to control the pattern, but to weave your part with grace. Fate leads the willing and drags the unwilling. To resist life is to suffer twice, once in reality and once in rebellion. To accept it is to walk freely, even through fire. Stillness is not inaction. It is deliberate action, done without panic. The Stoic moves not from impulse but from intention. He does not rush. He responds. He does not crumble. He endures. Because the mind trained in virtue remains calm in any crisis. The storm may roar, but the Stoic becomes the eye of it. Be like the rock against which the waves continually break, yet it stands firm and tames the fury of the waters around it. The rock does not fight the sea. It simply remains. That is stillness, strength without aggression, power without noise. It is not indifference. It is invincibility. Seneca called this the final discipline, to meet every moment with grace, even the final one. It is not that life is short, but that we waste much of it. He faced death as he faced life, calmly, gratefully, ready. Because the disciplined mind is not afraid of endings. It understands they are part of the same order it has always served, and so he met death not with fear but with stillness. To the Stoic, stillness was not escape. It was enlightenment, the realization that peace does not depend on what happens but on how you meet it. The world will always move. People will always provoke. Fortune will always rise and fall. But you can remain still because calm is not weakness and it is strength mastered. And when you carry that calm into action, you become what Marcus called the good man at peace with his fate. Do not act as if you were going to live 10,000 years. Death hangs over you. While you live, while it is in your power, be good. Stillness, in the end, is not about withdrawal. It is about presence, to be fully awake in this moment. To act with reason, to speak with kindness, to think without turmoil. That is the Stoic's victory. To live every day in calm motion, to face every trial with quiet courage, to leave the world a little more peaceful than you found it. The storms will come. The world will test you. But if you remain disciplined in mind, measured in response and still in spirit, you will not be broken, because the calm man cannot be conquered. The disciplined man cannot be provoked, and the peaceful man cannot be destroyed. Be that man, be that mind, be that stillness. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Master your mind, Ryan, and you master your peace. Master your peace, and nothing in this world can ever touch you again.